I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. That we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening, watchmen and watchwomen. I want to start out asking for prayer, not for myself, but there is a gentleman that is in one of the drone groups that I belong to, and he has some family that has come down with COVID. Doesn't look real good, so he was asking for prayers. And of course he got mine, and I'm just asking if you would give him yours. So I know a lot of people are facing that situation, so for those that aren't bothered by bending a knee, pray for all of them. Pray for all of them, because, man, it's crazy. That being said, I am set back, to be honest, at the numbers I'm not seeing. Just to be real frank with you, I mean, I know there's a lot of people suffering with this, and I had suspected some extremely, Jen as well. Hang on, I want to make sure I get this right. Jen's friends, aunt and uncle also have it, so please include them as well. I had expected from the holidays, both Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then we had New Year's. I had expected to see a massive explosion in both cases and deaths, and not seeing it. And it's not due to the vaccine, because a lot of people don't even have access at this point to the vaccine. So we can't say that's what it is. And I'm not saying it's not a thing or anything like that, not whatsoever, but it's certainly not as much of a thing as what I expected it to be. So that's not what tonight's subject is about. I really don't have a particular targeted subject, to be honest. I've been keeping an eye on things. I did watch almost 3 of the 4J Snip John Teeter videos. I've gotten a little better than a little better than 2.5 of them done. So I have to continue on number 3 where I left off, and then watch number 4. But there was a lot of things that was indeed clarified for me by going through them again. Like when I spoke with you on Thursday about it, I wasn't sure if it was a nuclear war or what it was, and that is what the claim is, that it was a more or less like a limited nuclear war. And I'll tell you what, the timing is off, because the claim, John Teeter's claim, was 2015. So the timing is certainly off. But as I was listening to those videos again, it reminded me of just how accurate that this guy was. I mean, insanely accurate, other than the timing. And I certainly am not going to look at that a whole lot. I'm just not. And there's a reason why. Because I did put a lot of thought into this. I do believe that due to a Trump presidency, that there are a lot of things that were delayed. I firmly believe that. I think this could have been one of those things that got delayed. I mean, I'm trying to look at as much as I can here and keep as much of an open mind, and then, go back and try to wipe the slate clean mentally and go at it from a different angle. And I keep trying to do that over and over and over again, because that's even better than just playing devil's advocate with yourself. And then after I have enough angles, then I approach all the angles at once and let them play devil's advocate with each other, if this makes sense to you. This is how I do it. It is a very complex process. It is very exhausting. Between not being able to sleep worth a damn at night and all of this going through my head, I haven't been getting much sleep. I'm not one that takes naps often, but here lately, it's like I've had to. I've absolutely had to. But that is what it is. Trying to think if there's anything in particular. We've got a lot of headlines to go over. There's a lot of stuff that's gone on. I can't think of anything in particular. What I'll probably do is, just as I go through the headlines, anything that jogs my memory, I'll make comment on it. I do have a couple of things I want to talk about as far as the Watchman news is concerned, and some ideas that I had. I as I said on Thursday, I plan on expanding what we do. And I'm going to, one way or another. There is, and forgive me if I seem a little whatever here, but there is value to what we do. There is absolute value to what we do. Now, that being said, you never have to worry about me disappearing from here. The only reason why you would have to worry about me disappearing from YouTube and doing what it is that we do is if that's on YouTube's terms, okay? Because I'm not one of those that believe in bait and switch, I guess, is essentially what it is. So don't worry. This show will stay as it is and not going anywhere unless it's on YouTube's behalf. Not going to ask you to sit here and go to Gab. Or, by the way, I did reserve, make sure, because apparently I already had it reserved at Gab, but I did go to several other platforms and make sure that the Watchman News name was reserved at these other platforms. But that's it. I'm not asking anybody to go anywhere. I'm not going anywhere, okay? I have no intentions of going anywhere. My only thing is backup security type of thing. Now, I am going to start importing our shows here over to YouTube. But I'm not telling anybody to go over there and sign up an account or anything, all that. All I'm doing is preserving our content. That's all I'm doing over there. So, at this point in time, don't worry about it. I'm just preserving content. But yeah, I'm just trying to cross all the T's, dot all the I's. We're preppers, right? And so that's what I'm doing. I'm preparing for the eventuality that we, if not the whole platform, implodes, right, here on YouTube. So again, I'm not asking anybody to go sign up anything anywhere because it absolutely drives me nuts when I hear people do that. You know, it gets under my skin, right? Oh, you need to come to MeWe. You need to come to Rumble. You need to come. Yeah, no, not going to happen. And many times I might go over at these different places and I might sign up an account. But I never go there. Why? Because it's goofy. It's silly. And I'm just being honest with you. But as I was starting to say, there is value to what we do. Why do I say that? Well, look at how many channels we're running people in circles with conspiracy theories and everything else. And look at how many channels are pissed beyond belief right now because they've had to backpedal on the things that they've said. I've watched a few channels over our days off that are so pissed off they can't see straight. And much of it is because they've had to backtrack or they've been called out or what have you. We don't need to do that. Why? Because I didn't feed you a line of BS to begin with. That's simple. And I, in fact, was trying to warn individuals not to buy into the BS. So that being said, that's what I mean. There is value in what we do here. And I want to expand that. We're not going to do anything as far as this channel, as far as, everything's going to stay the same. But what I am going to do is start offering more on other places. And I'm not going to do it for nothing. Plain and simple. There is value to what we do. We aren't monetized on YouTube. We don't plan to be monetized on YouTube or anything else. But in order for us to advance what we do, it's going to involve money. And so, we need to focus on our preps. So it would be foolish of me to say the hell with our futures because I want to get a new DSLR no, that would be foolish. I'm not that stupid. So what I'm going to do is set up another platform, which I already had. I talked about a little bit on Thursday. And I've already got a couple of different ideas of what I'm going to do, kind of weekly content. And if the situation needs, it'll turn to daily content. Especially, I'm referring to some certain specific ideas. Now, there'll probably be daily content there, don't misunderstand me. But the big content, the big kahuna, so to speak, will probably be something weekly. And so I will be promoting that. I will be talking about that. It is what it is. Everybody else does it, and I'm not going to ask you to invest into anything. I'm trying to use my words carefully here. To invest into anything that you can't vet. I'm not going to do that. There are a lot of channels out there that are doing all this stuff, right? And bringing in a load of money doing it, but there's no way to vet it. Not going to do that. Everything I do and every dime that goes into, you're going to benefit from. Every bit of it. It's not going to be some big dark secret with me just telling you I'm doing good things. No, because you're going to see it. It's going to be in your face. So anyway, I will, as time goes on, I will go into more detail. One of the things I'm going to do, and the platform I'm talking about, I mentioned it before here. It's that Buy Me a Coffee platform. So I really do like it. I had already started posting some stuff over there just to learn the system a little bit. Like I got a couple of albums started, photography, hydroponics, There's going to be a ton of albums started, so I'm just learning the platform is what I'm doing right now. But like this content here, it's free. Everybody can see it. It's public, okay? But they also have memberships, and they have supporters and memberships and all this good stuff. So that is where I'm going to be as far as this extended content, this expansion of what we do. Now, there is something that Bear Independent does, or at least did. Maybe he's still doing it. It might be for one of his higher tier patrons. I don't know. I'm a $1 patron of his, so I don't get to see it if he does still do it. But there is something that he did that I really liked, and I think it's a really good idea. And that is going to be my very first, what do you call it? Commitment. My very first commitment for the members over at Buy Me a Coffee. And that is going to be his weekly threat matrix. I am going to be doing my own weekly threat matrix, and I'll be doing it over here for the members. So that's just to give you a little bit of an idea. So that's going to be one of the things. And then a second thing I'd already mentioned, I need to add the threat matrix thing to the list. But the other thing is the question video. So one video a week, I will go into detail on a particular question that a member has. So just to kind of give you an idea, I'm just, we're going to expand one way or another. What we do has value, and I know this. We're not out there running y'all in circles and filling your heads full of crap. So I know damn well that we have something to offer. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. It is what it is. I'm not going anywhere as far as our news show, and what we have been doing will be here right on YouTube. Nothing's going to change with any of that. But I think we have a hell of a lot more to offer than what we bring to the table here. And again, in order to up our game with what we're doing, it's not free for us. And so my hope is that we can all expand and grow together over on like this platform. So from what I've seen, and I've done a lot of searching and stuff like that, this seems to be a pretty solid platform over there. So Patreon has its ups and downs, okay? Certainly has its ups and downs. There are some limitations with Patreon. I have not ran into those same limitations from what I can see here. I actually have a lot more, we'll say, creator control here. And so, keeping that in mind, there's a lot of issues that people have with stolen content and stuff like that over on Patreon. That's just one of the issues I'm referring to. I can lock that down better here. The only way you can do that over on Patreon is if you go and pay out the butt for a Vimeo subscription, and I'm not going to do that. Why? Because if I ain't got money coming in, I ain't putting it out. We already put out enough as it is for web space and domains, and, it is what it is. So, and then that's not even to speak about my time, my effort, or anything else. So, pardon me, but it is what it is. I want to expand what it is that we do. And like I say, we've got valuable stuff to offer. That is what it is. Anyway, so I wanted to mention that because the gears are turning full force on exactly what it is that we plan on doing. And so those are my two commitments for the memberships over there, is the question of week one. And I'll probably do like I'll probably look at all the questions, and I don't know. I'll figure it all out. Pick what I feel is the best one, or the one I can go into most detail about, or whatever. I would like to do a random. I would love to do it random, but the problem I'm going to run into with that, and I know this, is if I just pick a random question, then the problem I'm going to run into is what if the winner, the question that wins, is something that either I'm not well versed in, or whatever the case may be. So I would like to do the random thing, but I don't think that would be beneficial for either of us. So, but I'm working on more ideas, because at the same time, I want to make sure that people get their values worth over there. So, that plain and simple. Trying to think if there's nothing more to add with that. I just wanted to throw that at you. I don't have that link anywhere yet. If you're interested in it, it's just, I think it's Buy Me a Coffee. Yeah, buymeacoffee.com/The Watchman News. So that'll get you to where we are over there. So right now, everything that I've got up is public. It ain't much of nothing. It's 2 posts. One of them's about the growing that we're doing, the plants, and the other one's drone pictures at this point. So I'm just trying to get some content there. It is what it is. Speaking of that, I do have some updates for you on the plant front here, if I can find the right folder, because I didn't do this, didn't have these up ahead of time. But let's see. There is a picture from today. I think I'm going to do the pictures on Sundays. Is when I'm going to take the pictures of the process of the plants and stuff. So anyway, there's the entire tent there. There's a picture of one of the lettuce plants that is growing. You can see the roots starting to pop through the sides there. So the tomato, that is the picture of the tomato plant. So it's coming along very nicely. And this stuff too. I'm going to go, when it comes to the Buy Me a Coffee thing, I'm going to go into detail on how I'm doing some of this stuff, because I do have quite a unique system that clearly works well. So there's going to be benefit with it. And then I think I haven't showed you is the onions, and that's just one of them. That's the one that's the most progressed right now. Onions just take a little while, so but that one's the most progressed at this time, so it's going. I've got about 4 or 5 that have the onions starting. The others have not yet, so one of them I'm pretty sure is a goner. I don't know what I did. I'm not sure I did anything wrong. And the other ones I haven't seen start yet. So that's fine with me. And the reason why is because onions take a while to grow. And I kind of prefer that they not all grow and be ready at the same time. So if I can stagger them a little bit, that's ideal for me. So I have a feeling lettuce, because it's, on the other hand, it's pretty quick. And I have a feeling that we're probably going to be coming out our ears in lettuce. So it is what it is. I wished we had a freezer, even just a small little chest freezer, because just the regular refrigerator freezer's not very big. And I would love to be able to like chop lettuce and freeze it and stuff like that, and just so that we can have it, on hand. Because otherwise, if I start getting too much, more than what we can eat ourselves, I just either got to give it away or to go to waste. And so I'd rather, not that I mind giving it away, but I'd rather be able to store it. So that would be the perfect ideal. So anyway, let me run through the normal stuff. We'll get into headlines. I'm sure I'll have plenty of stuff to say about the headlines because there was quite a bit of craziness over the weekend. So Amazon affiliate, we are up to 1647. So I thank you very much to those that participate. For those that don't know, there's a link in the description as well as at thewatchmannews.com in the top right. You click that link, it just takes you to Amazon with our special link. You don't have to have, I'm already going to PayPal. What am I thinking? When you use that link to go to Amazon and make your purchases, your items don't cost you anything more, but it throws a little bit our way, gives us a commission for the sale. So all those little bits add up, and we highly appreciate it. So I'll skip the Teespring stuff. We also have a PayPal donate link that's in the description of the videos, as well as at thewatchmannews.com. Right there, it says donate. When you click on that, it takes you to our PayPal donation page. You don't have to have a PayPal account. You can do so as a guest with a debit or a credit card, but I always let people know it says Transforming Disabilities up top. It also says the Watchman News donation. That way you know you're in the right place. All right, good. All those out of there. COVID. Now refresh. Right now it says 2,281. Let me refresh it. That same thing. Sometimes it's different at this time when I refresh it, and other times it's not. So again, the numbers are not, I'm not seeing numbers that I expect. Not in any way, shape, or form. I mean, we did have a little rise. I'm showing 3,780, I'm on the wrong one, 3,321 fatal cases for yesterday. New cases, I'm showing 159,728. I see a little bit of a rise here, but nothing like I had expected anywhere, to be quite honest. And that raises a lot of questions. And again, I'm not for a second going to sit here and question whether COVID's a thing. But I am going to question how come it's not more widespread. I mean, think about that. And it also, that question makes me question all of these stories about new strains that are so much more contagious or transmissible. Where is it? Because I'm showing numbers starting to drop again. Where is it? I think that the American people, a large majority of them, are at least trying to listen, trying to do well. And to be honest, I think that's the biggest reason that the numbers haven't gone stupid. You can see differences in numbers in areas to where people are trying to be good and where people don't care. I had a lady, and I didn't answer, but a lady had asked in my local group that I have here for COVID, how come the numbers here were so high? Well, because of the attitudes. Plain and simple. Now, That's not to say that we've got an incredible death rate or that anything's super horrible here. But I'm just saying there's clear evidence to those areas that are listening a little more versus the areas that don't. Clear evidence. But regardless of any of that, we are just not seeing the numbers to support a lot of what they're wanting to do. We're just not. And that's concerning. Because that makes me ask, well, what are they really trying to do? So, and I've said the whole time here that it's government. They're going to seize, they're going to take as much control as they can using any excuse they can. This is just another one of those excuses. January 6th, of course, you know what happened at the Capitol. Well, look at what the government's doing. They want to come down hard on the American people. They want to ramp up surveillance and everything else on the American people because of what happened on the 6th. Now, I'm sorry, but I don't think that negates, an entire nation under surveillance, under, extended surveillance. That's crazy. That's crazy. But it's the government, and they're going to take as many miles with that inch that you give them as they can. They always do. And until we stop letting them, which, oh my gosh, right? Until we stop letting them, it's just going to be worse and worse and worse. And that is what it is as well. And the longer we go on pulling the cover over our heads, the worse off we're going to be to get the situation stopped. I mean, especially with this particular subject, because the more that we allow them to interfere, intercept our communications and everything else, the harder it is going to be if we feel a need to organize. I'm just saying. We are not in a great position domestically, but we're, not in a good position internationally either. So it's stuff to really consider and take a look at. This is one of the reasons why I want to do a weekly threat matrix thing over there at Buy Me a Coffee, because this stuff changes so rapidly. And from one week to the next, I may see a much more imminent threat. And it is what it is. I mean, it simply is what it is. Coming up on inauguration, yeah, I had concerns of domestic issues. Okay? We got through that, and that's over. That's behind us. And so as I look out now, right this very moment, the biggest threat that I am seeing as of today is China. Now, as of, a few days or so ago, I was a bit concerned with Iran. These situations are very, very fluid. And so, I think I have, or at least I have something to offer. I have value in what I have to say in this stuff, because a lot of it I'm not pulling out my butt. I'm taking in several different sources in several different situations and looking to see what it is that is my biggest concern at the time. And I'm telling you right now, China. And how imminent do I think that is? Now, I'm not going to tell you to get all freaked out. I can't tell you how imminent it would be, but I'm not worried that they're getting ready to lob missiles our way, so not at this point. We got a little ways to go for that. And going back to the John Teeter story, not to be putting all my eggs in that basket, but John Teeter had talked about a civil war that lasted for some 5 years or so before the nuclear attack, which John Teeter claims was actually Russia. But nonetheless, Yeah, I do think there's a decent chance that we would see a civil war in this country before we see war with another country. Um, because things are hot here. Things are very hot here. And I don't see them getting any better. I don't see the calls for unity working. I mean, look, there was a church bombed in California, by the tolerant ones. I don't think things are going to get better domestically. I just don't. I think it's going to keep boiling and boiling until it boils over. And as far as timelines, I certainly see that happening before concerns with war with China. The only thing that changes that is if China makes a move. That's the only thing that changes that. I can't give you a gauge on that because how would I know? So, unless China makes a move, a serious move like invading Taiwan or something of that sort, I think domestically would be our biggest concern right now, and that would be civil war. But as far as overall threat, I'm kind of concerned with China at this point. But again, it's not an imminent thing. Not an imminent thing. I think there's going to be a lot of buildup before that. In our situation here in the United States, it's already built up. It's already built up. We're seeing more and more things happen, and well, I'll talk a little bit more in the headlines. Talk a little more as we go through them, because there have been some incidents that I have a feeling are gonna cause more boiling, to put it simple. Sip of coffee here. Look at the local number here, real quick like. We're up to 1,892 cases total confirmed here locally. I haven't been even looking at it on the days off, to be honest. Sip of coffee. You know the drill. Vape. It's actually given me the opposite problem I was having Thursday. I couldn't hardly get it to vape Thursday. Now damn thing spits and pops and wants to burn my mouth off. So, one extreme or another, pretty much like our society, right? So I'm trying to get one without burning my face off or... I really do need to change my coils, and I need to quit talking about it, and I need to do it, because that's probably why it's doing this. Hot spots and coils can do that. And overworked, overused coils usually have hot spots. And the Watchman needs to quit being a cheap bastard and change them. I mean, it's like not very much for a spool of wire, and I use like a whole maybe 6 inches, 5-6 inches to make 2 coils. Yeah, and I buy it by, I think, let me look here. Yeah, 25 foot. I just like things that last, is all. Gosh. These coils might be been going on about 3 months. 2.5, 3 months. Nobody runs their coils like that. I'm a madman. Alright. Okay, we're going to start with Friday's news because that's what we do on Sundays. So let me real quick mute the mic and blow my nose because you don't want to hear that. And we'll be right on it. I mean, that would be kind of sick if you did want to hear that, but maybe you're recording sound effects. I don't know. All right. Google threatens to remove search engine in Australia if legislators force it to share profits with news content creators. So, I know there's a lot of back and forth on that. I don't think Australia really gives a damn. We'll see. We'll see. I'm telling you, there's a lot of shaky ground with these major platforms, with big tech, because just because the United States panders to them doesn't mean the other countries are going to pander to them. Australia certainly is not going to pander to them. Russia has really started standing up to them. Other countries over there across the pond have started to stand up to them. I don't know what the future of these big tech platforms are. I really don't. I know I went in this morning. Facebook has added a bunch of stuff. Now, there's something going on where people are saying, oh, Facebook just added this, blah, 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 blah. That is not true. It's been around for like 4, 5, 6 months. A bunch of advertising crap in the back end. But they have added some new options, and I went in today, and what did I spend? About 15, 20 minutes turning off different categories of ads. I mean, the list was absolutely insane long. And I sat there and shut every single one of those damn things off. And I closed up as much as I could on Facebook as far as the advertising crap, because that's where it's under, is the advertisements. And, that's how they do it. That's how they get your data, and that's how they claim that it's not stealing your data, is because it's advertising, right? If you did it under any other under any other reason, it would likely be illegal. But if they say, oh, for advertising purposes, they can basically check what happened with your proctology exam. I mean, it's unbelievable. As long as they say the word advertising. It's insane. Insane. India hopes to import more Iranian Venezuelan crude under Biden. I'm not seeing Biden letting up on any of these countries, to be honest. And I know the mainstream media wants you to think that he's going to hand the country over to China. And I honestly am not seeing that either. I've done a lot of thinking on this. A lot of thinking on this. And the more I think about it, the more, to be honest, I think they're all in it. I think they're all in on it. I don't know if Iran is in on it. I don't think North Korea is in on it, to be quite honest. And like I said, I don't know about Iran, but I am starting to damn well believe that China is in on it. And I'm talking about the big it, as in, like, we'll throw the old term on it, the New World Order. I am certainly starting to see evidence that China may be in on it as well. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. Okay? In order for them to have the control over the citizens of the United States that they want to have, they have to bring down the United States. There's no way around that. So, a false flag, with China may very well do that. Plain and simple. And by false flag, I'm saying war. War. So, I don't know. I'm not telling you that that's what this is. I'm trying to figure this out, because obviously this affects each and every one of us. And man, something's not right in Kansas, and we need to find Toto and figure it out. Because, while I say I don't see anything imminent as far as China is concerned, I don't think we got a real long way off before something big happens that will drastically change each and every person's life in this country. I don't think that's too far off. Very possibly it's going to be something in the financial markets. Now, I do see that being more imminent than probably anything. I see a big shakeup in the financial markets being the most imminent, okay? The most imminent. Now, while that has huge, drastic effects on every one of us in our way of life, I'm trying to put a priority list together on these threats. And I think civil war, while not as imminent as something major financial happening. I think civil war is going to impact us more, believe it or not, than something major in the financial market. And when I say the financial market, I'm including the dollar currency itself and the whole shebang, not just Wall Street. Personally, I give a damn less about Wall Street. But, I mean, and maybe I'm biased there because I don't have stocks or any of that stuff. I don't gamble. But I just don't. I don't see that having as much an effect for most Americans as what I do a civil war. And so I think civil war is something that is more threatening to us, although I think financial turmoil, financial market, dollar market turmoil is much more imminent. So, and along those lines, well, I'll cover that stuff when we run into it. But don't think for a second that because Biden's in office that all of a sudden we're going to give in to Iran, we're going to give in to Venezuela, and no, that's right-wing fear talk is what that is. That's right-wing fear talk, because there's actual evidence to prove the contrary, or at least actual evidence to prove the illusion of the contrary, if we want to go there. So, a deal for Russia to supply Myanmar with Panzer S-1 air defense systems and reconnaissance drones announced by the Shoigu visit. U.S. shocked after National Guardsmen kicked out of Capitol building and forced to lodge at parking lot after inauguration. Now, this really rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and the whole situation is bunk. It's going to be in the headlines. Apparently, they're going to have National Guard there until March because they want to protect the impeachment. Why are we so focused on this impeachment? I was just talking to Jen about this today. We were discussing the stimulus thing, and I was explaining to her more or less the time frame that I'm expecting for the stimulus. This is concerning to me. Again, I don't have a dog in the fight here, but a lot of you do. And just because I don't personally have a dog in the fight doesn't mean that I need to ignore this. That's not cool, in my opinion. I need to be as much involved into understanding what's going on with that to be able to come here and provide you with as much information on that as possible. Again, that's why I said earlier on, we actually bring something to the table, not a bunch of bullshit and conspiracy. We bring something to the table, and it's called information. It's called empowerment. So that is what it is. I want to be able to expand that and do more of it on a larger scale. But you know what? I ain't doing it for nothing. And that's why we're going to be working with that Buy Me a Coffee thing. So, but continuing with what I was saying. So this impeachment thing is, it's the biggest deal, right? It makes no sense to me. Because there are so many American people right now that are hurting bad. And we've talked about this time and time again. And while I'm not a big fan of just cutting checks and handing to people, we are in extenuating circumstances in this country. And there are a lot of people that are hurting. And it's not a matter of, well, it would help. No, it's a matter of have to. They are hurting that bad. This and this is just the individuals. I have no idea what the hell's going to be done for businesses. I'm not seeing any moves being made by anybody. I'm not seeing any difference under the Biden administration towards helping those businesses that have lost everything, or the ones that, are about to lose everything. And it's ridiculous. It is truly ridiculous. That really makes me wonder the intent of the U.S. government. It seems to me, again, to term a phrase, that they're trying to step closer and closer to this whole idea of New World Order, right? Because you have to take away the ability of the people to provide for themselves, You have to basically strip people. And you have to be able to control their housing, their food, their medication. Look at what they're doing. They're positioning themselves so that they can do that very thing. So that you're at their will. But either way, the fact of the matter is, people are doing everything they can to hold on to what they got. And they're losing because of the current situation. And so I really wish the government would put more focus on helping the American people than getting revenge on Donald Trump. And make no mistake, that's all this is. That's what they're after. That's what this is. It's people's, it's their revenge. It's their revenge, And I hope folks look at this and remember this. So many people are so excited about voting. Well, damn well remember this. Come voting time. If you feel you have to go out there and take part in that, then you remember this when you go out to vote. Because anybody, any politician that is putting Donald Trump's impeachment or impeachment hearing or whatever ahead of helping the American people, okay, whether or not Donald Trump is impeached or not, makes no damn difference to you. It doesn't help you or hurt you. It doesn't. Again, this is just revenge for the politicians. It's all it is, nothing more. It's not helping you. So why in the hell is the help for you getting pushed off so they can get revenge? Maybe tomorrow you might want to get on the phone. Not that it's going to make any difference, but consider doing it anyway. Get on that phone and make phone calls and ask that very same question to your elected leaders. And if you voted, I damn well would say you better be on that phone calling the people you voted for and asking them, why the hell is revenge more important than help? Because the last I checked, this is our country. The last I checked, that money that they're operating from came out of your pocket. And to sit back and do nothing or say nothing is ridiculous to me. It's even more ridiculous than the crap that they're pulling. It's just insane. UK minister warns more draconian steps may be necessary to tackle COVID-19 and hinting that police may receive health data. By the way, we're still on Friday, so it's going to take a little while. Maybe I need to stop jabbering after each headline. Our prices slide amid concerns flare-up in China COVID cases could weaken fuel demand. Russia slashes its foreign debt by $21.3 billion in 2020. Poland threatens Pfizer with legal action after COVID-19 vaccine delay as Italy's government backs action against the pharma giant. Hungary to build plant for manufacturing own vaccine and says PM Orban after criticizing EU immunization program. In defiance of Brussels, Moscow and Budapest signed deal on making Hungary first EU country to get Russia's Sputnik 5 COVID-19 vaccine. Getting so tired of saying the words COVID and vaccine. Cold chain strikes again. 1,900 doses of Moderna vaccine go poof in Boston after cleaner reportedly unplugged the freezer. Crazy. Russian Education Ministry advises parents to protect children against jailed opposition figure Navalny's calls for mass protest. There's going to be a lot of headlines about Navalny, too. Modi praises India's self-reliance in COVID-19 vaccine production as the country administers a millionth jab, whatever. Travel will continue for the rich. Brits blast reports that they may have to pay for mandatory hotel quarantine after holidays. It's always going to be this haves and have-nots thing, and they're trying to position themselves to where that's even more so. BBC blasted for spending £1 million in 3 years on equal pay and discrimination legal fights. Chinese authorities find COVID-19 cluster at major chicken processing plant in Harbin as Beijing introduces new curbs. A special Crown Office unit to investigate hundreds of deaths in Scottish care homes. Eurozone businesses' activity slows as stricter lockdowns take heavy toll on service sector. A coup conducted by the West, Russian Parents Association boss asked government to ban TikTok over calls for children to protest. Democrats demand Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube change algorithms to stop polluting minds of American people. Yeah. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Man, I really hope people are ready to defend freedom. I don't know how else to put it. That's the prettiest cherry that I can put on top of it. I hope people are getting ready to defend their freedom. Because you either get ready for it to defend it now, or just say, the hell with it and give it away. Those are your options. I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not going to sit there and fairy tale you. I'm going to tell you how it is. You either get ready, defend your freedom, or just give it the hell up. Make that choice now. Make that choice now. Because that's where we're at. Iranian minister boasts about significant rise in oil exports despite U.S. sanctions. Prominent Kiev Russia critic tells followers Navalny is more dangerous politically for Ukraine than Putin because of Western support. And you're going to get, I often brag about how little propaganda that RT has. When it comes to this Navalny stuff, you're going to get a lot of propaganda. So I'm just telling you, you're going to get a lot of propaganda. There's only been a couple of things I've really seen the propaganda come out thick on with RT, and that's the stuff involving Navalny and the stuff that involved the Hong Kong protests. And the propaganda was so thick. EU says it will seek clarification from Pfizer after further COVID-19 vaccine delays. Despite scare stories about warming, near record-breaking cold weather drives up sales of fur coats as bitter winter hits Russia. Now, we're having kind of an opposite here. You know, Russia has been literally just slammed with the cold. But here in the U.S., it's been very mild. Very, very mild. I mean, now I can only speak for where we live, but yeah, it's been insanely mild here. And from looking at temps and stuff across the country, it seems to be the case for most of the country as well. So, no, I'm not calling global warming or anything like that. I'm just saying it's funky. And I'm going to chalk it up to grand solar minimum. I'm going to chalk it up to, the deviation of the magnetic poles. But I'm not going to chalk it up to no global warming crap. Wedding with 400 guests busted in London Jewish neighborhood, potentially adding £10,000 fine to expenses. Yikes. No homemade face coverings. German airlines mandating passengers to wear higher grade FFP2 or N95 masks. So, yeah, well, I keep trying to tell people that if they really want to do something, it needs to be an N95 or better, and that's just a fact. It needs to be an N95 or better. If you're wearing a surgical mask or if you're wearing just a cloth mask that you bought off Etsy or wherever, don't expect that to protect you a whole lot from getting it, okay? It will help some, on spreading it, but it's not going to be super, super effective. Nothing is on spreading it, because guess what? If you've got an N95 on and you cough, it's still probably going to get out. So I'm just saying, because you're going to be pushing out more air. Well, some of the N95s have vents on them, and that's just a given, but not all of them do. Not all of them have the vents. And if you've got an N95 on that doesn't have the vent and you cough, you're probably going to be expelling more air than what you could normally push through that mask. And what that's likely going to do is the air pressure from your cough is going to break the seal of that mask on your face, and you're still going to expel. But the whole idea is that you lessen the chances, okay? So let's not play this ignorant, retarded game that was played for months on end already about how, oh, well, it's useless, don't use it. I'm not saying that, but just understand the purpose and the uses and the, points of failure for these items. So, because it's important, especially if you are actually concerned about it. I'm just here to give you the information. You do with it what you want. Knowing liberal international order needs Russia as enemy to galvanize West, Moscow braces for aggressive Biden foreign policy. 1 in 35 Londoners had COVID-19 last week, government reveals, as capital registers highest rate of infection in the UK. Top Russian politicians say New START nuclear deal with the U.S. can be saved despite ticking clock after Biden asks for extension. GOP congressman under investigation by Capitol Police after trying to bring a gun onto the House floor, says reports. Again, we're still on Friday's news. Russian expert says cleaning your room and opening windows may be crucial for recovering from COVID-19. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Number one, cleaning, okay, if there is a virus or any other kind of bacteria or, you name it on surfaces, cleaning it is going to be a help. Opening your windows is going to lower the parts per million of anything that's in the room. So, once again, no shit, Sherlock. All right. UK government will not give 500 euros to, not euros, pounds, sorry, 500 pounds to everyone who tests positive for COVID-19, contrary to reports, says number 10. Who the hell is number 10? Did they, go to Star Trek government or something? Who the hell's number 10? I don't know. Sorry, UK folks, I just don't understand that. Hong Kong to enter city's first COVID-19 lockdown as China deploys 1,700 officers to enforce the new rules. A Texas lawyer files bizarre, or files, not fires, whatever. Texas lawyer files bizarre lawsuit seeking to reinstate Trump and dissolve the entire Congress and ban Mark Zuckerberg from public office. Why do they waste time and tax dollars? I mean, yeah, it sounds good on paper, but you're just wasting time and money, dude. Swedish health agency investigates after 1,000 people received Moderna vaccine kept at too low of a temperature. Impeachment trial to kick off next week, top Senator Schumer announces, saying Trump incited erection against U.S. in viral gaffe. Trump, how dare you give people an erection? All right. Blackout challenge. Death of child participating in TikTok game prompts investigation by Italian authorities. Senate confirms Lloyd Austin as new defense secretary, first black person in U.S. history to head the Pentagon. Okay, that's great, but to me, this stuff is just as racist as anything else. It really is. Why can't we just be people? Why, and I'm not saying why not, why should we not recognize, African American accomplishments? That's not what I'm saying at all. But why are we doing this? And it almost seems like a systematic segregation. Does it not? I wonder why. Sad day for women's sports. Row erupts after Joe Biden signs gender discrimination order paving the way for transgender athletes. This is not cool. This is not cool. I want you to think about this, right? Think about some 350-pound dude, solid muscle, putting on a dress, and competing against women's weightlifting. Is that fair? No, it's not. Not fair at all. We need to get a grip on this. And it has nothing to do with whether or not people should have the choice to be transgender. Hey, whatever. It's your life. But we need to stop making things unfair for people and then calling it fairness and equality. Because it's not. It's bullshit. Plain and simple. It's not fair. It's not equal. It's not. And they're doing this on purpose to strip away fair and equal. They don't want us as individuals anymore. They don't want us to have talents anymore. They want us all to throw our hands up in the air and not give a damn about anything so that they can run every single aspect of our lives. And the only way it's going to stop is when we say no. Like I said, prepare to defend your freedom or just give it up. But let's not fuck around anymore. I'm tired of it. Many people are tired of it. Let's either grow up and deal with this or fucking give it to them. But we need to make the choice. And we need to act. Either way. Are we going to bow down and kiss boots? I don't want to do that. But I also ain't going to be a martyr. So I just want people to make their decision, have a meeting, whatever, let me know. And if the decision's to bow down and kiss their boots, just let me fucking know. Because I'll either bow out of life all the fuck together, or I'll bow out to the woods and you'll never see my ass again. But this bullshit of just sitting here and letting them do it day in and day out needs to stop. Sorry, it's frustrating. Watching everything that the Founding Fathers and God created getting pissed on while people sit by and do nothing because we don't want to grow a set. Some evidence new UK COVID-19 variant kills more people, says Prime Minister Boris Johnson. And again, not really seeing any evidence of this stuff. I'm not. It almost seems like because it's not causing widespread havoc that now we got to come up with, oh, it's a new variant. Oh my God, it's yeah, something's not right with this stuff. Messed up comparison. New York City mayoral candidate Andrew Yang blasted for liking BDS movement to fascist boycotts. Mask off. Fauci says lack of candor from Trump administration about COVID-19 likely costs lives and gets accused of hypocrisy. Real-life dystopia. Microsoft's patent to reanimate the dead as chatbox has Black Mirror fans worried. Whatever the hell that's all about. They are not Nancy Pelosi's servants. Governor DeSantis calls National Guard back home after outrage over their treatment in D.C. A WHO vaccine chief says crushing transmission of COVID-19 is vital to avoid further mutations amid global vaccine rollout. Czech Republic reports second outbreak of highly infectious H5N8 H5N8 bird flu in a week. For some reason, I thought I read it wrong. AOC did not attend inauguration because she doesn't feel safe around House colleagues and calls to expel Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley. This is ridiculous. And repeating what I just said, we need to make that decision. We either need to make the decision we're going to defend this country or we're just going to give it to them. Because since when did we start banishing elected officials because of feelings? And that's exactly the direction that they're trying to go now. And you see how they're taking miles from the inch they got? EU Commission member states deeply dissatisfied with AstraZeneca after revelation of delayed vaccine delivery. A huge blast rocks market in southern Russia, killing at least one. Let's see. I thought the headline was longer than that. It is not. Bill Gates receives COVID-19 vaccine 2 days after Biden sworn in, despite questioning if FDA can be trusted with a jab under Trump. A Big Brother meets Big Tech memo reveals military spies can just buy personal data with tax money and no need for a warrant. Need to repeat myself? Biden requests threat assessment on domestic extremism and role of social media in the Capitol riot. And again. Apologies from Joe, cookies from Jill. Biden tries to smooth over scandal with Outcast and COVID hit National Guard troops. Senate to launch Trump's second impeachment in February, says Schumer. Facebook bans UK Socialist Workers' Party and revives account with no explanation as dozens of local pages remain suspended. No freebies. Pfizer to charge for extra COVID-19 vaccine doses as doctors squeeze vials of every drop to inoculate more people. What happened to the plan? Biden roasted after claiming nothing we can do to change pandemic's trajectory. Now we're to Saturday's news. India to overtake China as world's fastest growing major economy in 2021. Strong allergic reactions to Moderna vaccine are rare. No deaths reported, says the CDC. Russian gas supplies to Europe via Nord Stream pipeline hit record highs. Protesters detained at rallies in support of jailed opposition figure Alexei Navalny in Russia's Far East and Siberia. Don Jr. joins Telegram and says big tech can deplatform him just like that at any time. Nearly 200 National Guard members test positive for COVID-19 after being sent to D.C., says the media. U.S. stock market bubble may pop soon after Wall Street's coronavirus bonanza, Bank of America warns. Moscow police detain Navalny supporters staging unsanctioned rally to demand release of jailed opposition figure. Protesters clash with police amid unsanctioned rally in Vladivostok in support of jailed anti-corruption activist Navalny. Foreign investors flooded China's stock market in 2020, adding about 1.5 million in new accounts a month. History teachers revisit their curriculum after the Capitol riots, and again, we either do something to defend freedom or we just give it up. Let's make a decision and let's do it. Cost of sanctions. German industry hit hard by anti-Russia measures, and a survey shows. Wife of jailed opposition activist Alexei Navalny arrested while protesting for his release in Moscow. Man knocking police off to the ground amid Navalny protests in St. Petersburg. Apparent anti-Navalny protester pulled down from Moscow lamppost during rally for holding sign objecting to the activists. Protesters over imprisoned Kremlin opposition leader used riot police helmet to play football. Why not? Why did Bitcoin suddenly erase all of this year's gains? Let's see. RT's Boom Best has the answer. It was just an article I shared about it. Let's see. France's Academy of Medicine advises people to avoid talking on public transport to stop spread of COVID-19. Of course, people shouldn't talk. Why should they talk? Catastrophically wrong. German court declares regional lockdown unconstitutional in politically explosive decision. Hypocrisy is a tool of U.S. diplomacy. Russia slams Washington's claim about suppressing the Navalny protests. Widespread arrests and dozens of police injured in pro-Navalny protest in Russia as organizers say more to come next weekend. Rolling Stone will publish thought leaders to shape the future of culture if they pay thousands. My Pillow guy to get endorsement from Trump, best president in history, if he runs for governor of Minnesota. He said that about the best president, not me. That was a quote. Want to make that clear. Because I don't think so. For one, I wouldn't put him above Reagan. I'm sure there are presidents that were likely better than Reagan that I'm just not that well versed on. So, there is a thing called history. German right-wing AfD party goes to court ahead of reported designation as suspected extremist group. U.S. Capitol protester charged with threatening to assassinate AOC. FDA gives approval for syringes to extract an extra dose. I already said I didn't realize I showed the same thing twice. Netanyahu to dispatch Mossad chief to meet Biden and outline Israel's demands for Iran nuclear deal overhaul, says reports. Chile issues tsunami warning and orders evacuation of Antarctic base after 7.0 quake. And there was an accident when they did that. Because they had put out an evacuation warning for the entire country, the entire nation, and it was only supposed to be for the Antarctic base. So that was updated in the headline since I posted this, but the updated headline is not here. China's forex reserves grow to over $100 billion in 2020 despite COVID-19 pandemic. Where did this morning's news? So, police SUV plows through crowd of troublemakers in Tacoma in sickening video, and he just drove right over somebody. I mean, insane. Australia lashes out at big tech threats and says it's inevitable that Facebook and Google will pay for content. U.S. pledges to rock-solid commitment to Taiwan's defense after island reports incursion of Chinese bombers and fighter jets. Halting Nord Stream 2 construction may result in legal battle, German minister warns. Mayoral hopeful Andrew Yang polarizes public opinion after claiming New York City needs vaccine passports to reboot the economy. Vegas man accused of skimming $2 million in COVID-19 relief, spending it on posh cars and condos. Libya may boost oil production after fixing leaky pipeline to its biggest port. Czech restaurants and pubs open up in defiance of COVID-19 rules, owners to launch political movement to circumvent restrictions. UK government quietly extends local authorities' lockdown powers in England until July 17th, says the media. Please don't cancel New York Times subscription, says former editor, sacked by her chills for Biden, infuriated some readers. Or sacked after her chills, whatever. Quebec officials launch probe after 97-year-old with dementia given both Pfizer and Moderna COVID jabs, violating the guidance. Sales of Russian wheat keep surging amid gloomy export forecasts. Two guys start a Dallas-Fort Worth mask factory but can't catch a break. Forget made in Texas. China always wins. And there is a link if you are looking if you're in the market for masks, in 95 quality masks. There are some American-made choices, and there's a link in this article to be able to get them. I think it was like $45 for 20 masks. No, it's not as cheap as what China can get them to you for. But as I've said a million times, if we expect to have any better standard of living than the Chinese, then we're going to have to make products ourselves and get off our asses and pay a little bit more for them. Plain and simple. It's another case. We either bow down and we give it to them, or we take action and we do something. But if we aren't willing to pay American workers wages, then we might as well just sign the fucking dotted line right over to China right now. Again, we've got to make choices. Over 70% of Japanese people want Tokyo Olympics to be postponed or canceled, says a survey. Major Russian bank gets ready to launch its own cryptocurrency by spring. Video shows smoke rising over House of Parliament in London. Alarm heard. No confirmed emergency at present. And that was earlier this morning. I don't know that I heard any more on that or not. I don't think so. A Russian police launched probe after riot cop filmed kicking a woman in the stomach amid Navalny protest in St. Petersburg. Scottish leader Nicola Sturgeon's party promises second independence referendum after the pandemic. California resident dies hours after receiving the COVID-19 vaccine. Dutch police nab Asia's El Chapo, suspected leader of one of the world's largest drug trafficking operations. Germany buys Trump-touted antibody cocktail against COVID-19 at $2,400 per dose, says a health minister. That is absurd. Liberals can't accept the U.S. is a leading terrorist state, just as Trump supporters can't accept his election loss, says Chomsky to RT. Korean scientists may have discovered elixir of youth that erases wrinkles and could even reverse brain and muscle decline. Orthodox Jews clash with police in Israel as some religious schools open in violation of lockdown. Yuan to dethrone U.S. dollar as major global currency, trend forecaster tells Max Kaiser. There's a good chance of it. A rowdy youth torch COVID-19 testing site in Netherlands as nighttime curfew triggers unrest. Anti-lockdown protesters in Denmark burn effigy of Prime Minister and brawl with police. Kremlin condemns U.S. Embassy's support for unauthorized rallies. Foreign Ministry demands explanation. And again, this, I believe, is propaganda. I don't know that, I know we're behind a lot of stuff, and there could be some level of this, but I kind of think that they kind of pissed in their own bed here, really, with Navalny. So that's on them. Trump loses Dr. Birx too, as she claims admin presented parallel data and graphs on COVID-19, always considered quitting. National Guard to remain in Washington, D.C. until March to provide security for impeachment trial, says a report. Reporter critical of Antifa flees U.S. amid threats of political refugee decades after his parents arrived as asylum seekers. A riot cop visits hospital to apologize to woman he kicked in the stomach during intense protest in St. Petersburg. Wait a minute. Do we ever see anything like that here in the United States? Why, no. No, we don't. Trump to use millions in campaign cash, threat of third party to stop Republicans voting to impeach, says a report. Trust the plan. Trust the plan. Yeah, I called that out from the get-go. But what do we have? Oh, I'm showing 3 viewers in here, right? See, that's what you get for telling the truth. That's what you get for telling the truth. Nobody wants to hear it. They want echo chambers. So, I don't know how long I'm going to even keep this parade going. I don't. Nobody wants the truth. Nobody wants the truth. That's very evident. Badge of honor, Arizona GOP censures state governor and Representative McCain for Trump opposition. A California church known for anti-LGBT beliefs is bombed, and county officials' answer is unity to address hate issues. I mean, it's insane. Mexican President Lopez Obrador contracts COVID-19 and suffers mild symptoms. Irony meets hypocrisy? Yeah. Tell me about it. When it comes to union vote, Amazon argues that in-person ballots are crucial for valid and fair election. And I did have a number 1. Or was that it? That is it. So, that's it. I'm out of here. I really wish more people were seeking the truth. But I can't change that. God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. Shalom.